everyone. Time for a new build. This time I'm going to a subject that's kind of near and dear to me. Has been since the old days of the FASA Starship role-playing game. FASA Star Trek role-playing game. And it's Starship Combat Simulator. Here I have, in fact this is the miniature of it from that FASA actually put out. And this is the 1/2500th version of it that I don't remember if Delta Quadrant put this one out originally or if it was put out by somebody else and Delta Quadrant got the molds. But either way, these are both Romulan wing defenders from the Star Trek universe. The next build will be the 1/1000th version from the Delta Quadrant. As you can see, it's a pretty good sized ship, or at least it will be when it's put together. Several pieces molded in a lovely blue resin. They gave you the option of building the wings either down or up and made it really easy to tell which baffles you needed. You see here it says BLU, which would be body left up, for the wings being up. Inside the box, along with the base and the limited decal sheet, are the pieces for the wings down baffles. You also have the baffle that hooks to the wing. Flip this over. Wing left upper. I've already done a little bit of cleanup on the pieces, and there actually wasn't that much that needed to be done, mostly just some mold ejection. Now for a kit this size, there is some detail that needs to be added. Don't get me wrong, this thing is detailed really well. In fact, it looks like they took a lot of the detail off the old 1/3900th, I believe is what they called that one. It looked like they took a lot of detail off the old miniature. Got a separate deflector dish, which goes in the housing there. Got your landing gear struts, your wings. The detail that's been provided is nice and crisp, but there are some large areas like the tops of the engines, backs of the wings, and maybe a bit on the hull itself, where given the size of this model, I may go in with some styrene or some brass and add some details to it. But it should build up to a pretty good sized model. I mean, the hull itself, let me flip that ruler around. The hull itself, you're looking right about 5.5, 6 inches. With a wingspan, it's going to be at least half again that. Paint scheme I'm still kind of working out in my head, but I've got an idea where I'm going to go with it. So I'm going to go ahead and get going. Ah, the joys of a well-engineered resin kit. What we have here is the assembled Romulan wing defender. Now I may go in and add some detail pieces to simulate the Bussard collectors on the fronts of the nacelles, but other than that, assembly is complete. As you can see, I've got the navigational deflector in place, if slightly crooked. Now I've also put it on a base and drilled a small hole in the underside to hold it. You'll notice the black stripping running around the various areas of the ship. That is some, for lack of a better term, lead line that I picked up at the local craft store. It's self-adhesive, although here I reinforced it with super glue. It's self-adhesive and goes on really well. At this point, I'm ready to start thinking about base coat and paint. Alright, we're in the spray booth. As you can see, the wing defender now has a coat of gray primer, both on the top and the bottom. Next up will be a coat probably of silver metallic, and then we'll go for our actual colors from there. Okay, as promised, we have our coat of silver metallic. At this point, it's about time to get the airbrush out. Alright, at this point the transparent green is on. As my son pointed out, she's really shiny, but overall the look is about where I'm wanting it. It's a little darker than I'd planned on, but I can readily deal with that. Now we just need to go in and detail paint the feathers and add the rest of the detail painting, like to the mechanical workings and to the wing baffles. Also need to do the bassards and engine detailing. We're getting there. Alright. Been a while since I actually shot the last update for this, but I've gotten a lot done. In fact, we're going to call the Wing Defender build done. Went in by hand and painted the bands of feathers on the wings, both on top and on the underside. Did them in varying shades of blue, followed by a coat of transparent blue to kind of equalize it all. The baffles were picked out in Vallejo gunmetal, both on top and on the bottom, as were some of the details under the underside here, and the engines. The piping there, as well as some other details, were picked out in bronze. On the warp engines, I picked out some details in gold, and then picked out the, for lack of a better term, we'll just call them lit bits, in white, followed by a coat of transparent green. Slide that back into place. Alright. I also went in, picked out the impulse engines in green as well. The dome up here. On top, some details were picked out just to help bring them out. I also gave the detail sections a black wash, but not the whole ship, because I was afraid of making this look too dirty. Whole thing was given a dull coat to dull down the shine from the green. For the base, I just took a wooden piece that I'd picked up at my local hardware store, drilled through the kit base and into the wooden base. The kit base, while it looks good, there's no way it's going to support this beast, so I opted not to try to do it. I then used a super glue to apply the kit base to the wooden one. Nice thick wire to hold the model itself up. As you can tell, I haven't glued it down, and I probably won't, just to make it easier to move the model around. All in all, I am extremely happy with how this turned out, especially considering in many ways I didn't know where I was going with it when I started. Makes a welcome addition to any Star Trek collection, especially if you were a fan of the old FASA role-playing game. As is my usual wont, I will stick some stills at the end of this, including one showing it with the 1/1000th Reliant to give you a better idea of the actual size of the model or size of the ship in relation. I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time.